Hello and welcome. So maybe you're American or you recently moved to the United States and you've had all the rave about the turkeys and Thanksgiving. Yeah, turkeys are a big deal here, and today we are making one whole turkey because Thanksgiving is around the corner. I will also be showing you how to make gravy my way. I know that it might be a little unconventional, but yeah, I made some delicious gravy which you're going to be using to eat the turkey. So please stay tuned as we get started with this turkey recipe. And if you're American, maybe you can give me a rating on my turkey. Okay, so this is the turkey that we are using today. It's already cleaned and partially dried. I'm going to be showing you the cavity in a moment. So warning, if you don't want to look, please don't. This plastic clamp is meant to hold the legs of the turkey as it cooks so that it doesn't fall out of shape. So don't take it off until you're serving your turkey. So yeah, the cavity is cleaned as well. I took out the giblets and we'll be using those to make the gravy. So that's what I took out of the cavity, the neck, some gizzard, heart, and liver. I believe whoever made this turkey ate some liver and gizzard because there's no way that's a whole turkey liver. Anyway, so go ahead and tap the the turkey dry. Just dab it dry with a paper towel and also keep your surface dry. Um, because if it's wet, if the skin is wet, then it's not gonna hold the seasoning well. So just flip it over and dry the other side as well. Once you are done drying it like so, set it aside. Now let's take a look at the seasonings that I'll be using. So we got a bunch of dry seasonings there, and then half a cup of softened butter. It's unsalted butter, but salted would be okay as well. So I'm using paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, poultry seasoning, black pepper, and salt. Poultry seasoning is basically a mix of thyme and rosemary. So go ahead and mix those spices together like so, and then add in the butter and just mix, mix, mix until they're all well combined, like so. So that's a very buttery seasoning mix for our turkey. So the first step of seasoning the turkey is going to be underneath the skin. So we're just going to use fingers to separate the skin from the meat. Do this gently so that you do not tear the skin because you want it to stay looking good for the final look to also be awesome. So separate the skin like so by just pushing your fingers through gently from the top side of the turkey. You're gonna do that later with the bottom side as well. So scoop the seasoning like so and just push it in there again and rub, rub, rub. Make sure all the breast meat is well coated with the seasoning. This, of course, as you can tell, is gonna help make our turkey tasty because if we put all the seasoning on the top skin only, then they're not gonna seep in to the meat. Yeah, so just go ahead and rub the seasoning in really generously, like so, until you're satisfied that that's enough seasoning for my turkey. The red thing is a pop-up timer, which should let me know when the turkey is fully done. So I'm just letting it stay in place. Although I also have a meat thermometer that I'll be using to check the temperature of the turkey. So yeah, do so with the bottom side as well. Just grab the seasoning, rub it in like so, again until you are satisfied that that is enough seasoning for the underside. So yeah, just showing you what it looks like. um Yeah, you wouldn't even know it's seasoned, but it's really well seasoned in there. So smooth out the skin like so. Make sure it looks, as if nobody messed with that skin so that when it cooks, it's gonna come out neatly. The remaining seasoning, grab it underneath the cavity. So basically, we are seasoning all the areas that are not covered with skin. So the cavity, make sure all those parts are well seasoned. This is the first step of seasoning. We're gonna have a second step as well. Yeah. So just make sure all those parts are seasoned. The first step is done. So I am gonna set the turkey aside and show you again the second step of seasoning. The same ingredients again, but now I'm using half of whatever used at first. So again, just combine or mix all those seasonings, and then you're going to sprinkle this on the top side of the turkey or on the exterior of the turkey, and just pat that in. Do not rub too much because they come off. The skin is too smooth, so it doesn't hold the seasonings well. So just pat the dry seasonings onto the entire exterior like so, and then return the legs into the clamp because we are going to cover this turkey and marinate it. So it's recommended that you marinate your turkey overnight, or at least for 12 hours. In the morning, take your turkey out of the fridge and bring it back to room temperature, and it's ready to bake, to go to the oven. So at this point, you could choose to drizzle it with olive oil and then sprinkle a little more seasoning if you like. But I chose not to do that because I'm happy with this amount of seasoning. So this is the tray that I'll be using to cook the turkey. It is big enough. It is reinforced with metal, little bars like this. So yeah, it's very strong and good to handle the turkey. That handles too. So it's very easy to use and it's disposable. And then I have this thermometer, meat thermometer. We'll need to check the temperature of the turkey, and you might need a baster too. So yeah, set the turkey into the tray like so, and then I'm going to lay the giblets around it as well because I want them to cook together with the turkey, and then I'll take them out at a later stage to make the gravy. So go ahead and cover the turkey with aluminum foil because you want it to cook without drying out for the first part, and then you will open it and have it dry and brown at the second part. So set it in the oven like so on the lowest rack and you are all set. Now this is a personal ad of mine. Please check out my publications on Amazon. I got some amazing books in there for you. I'll appreciate your support. All right, so 2.5 hours later, the turkey is ready to be opened. So this is what it looks like, 2.5 into cooking while covered. Let's check the temperature. So I'll leave a link for this meat thermometer in the description in case you want to buy one. So it stopped at 160, which I think is good because the turkey is almost done and you can see clear liquids running. But of course, we want it to get to 165. So I'm gonna leave it in the oven for a little longer. But at this point, I'm taking out all the giblets, and then I am also going to scoop out all of the stock, and that stock will make us a very delicious gravy. Now, there's a bit of clumping of the seasonings on the turkey, so use a basting brush to just spread those out evenly, like so. And then using the same stock, baste the turkey, make it look good, make it look moist. And then when you put it in there to roast, it's gonna brown really neatly. So yeah, just paste it all over with that stock. I mean, you could melt butter and baste it with butter, but I did not want to because already I had used butter earlier. So in a way, it's still getting there. So this is what it looks like just before the final step of roasting. You just push it in there and increase the temperature to 375. Now, these are the potatoes that I used to decorate my turkey, but they're also super delicious. Just give them a quick boil for 10 minutes. Just salt and water, and then cover them and boil for 10 minutes. When they are done, drain the water and then transfer the potatoes um, to yeah, deep fry them. Just deep fry your potatoes in like so. Move them around occasionally because they could brown too much on one side. And just like that, the potatoes are ready. They are very crispy on the outside, very soft on the inside, and they're delicious. I mean, I know it's not a conventional turkey side, Thanksgiving side, but I just made them to make my turkey look good. And so as you can see, the pop-up timer has popped on this turkey, meaning the meat is ready. And so I turned off the oven at this point and I just let the turkey cool down because as you can see, it is done. So on to making gravy my way. Okay, so go ahead. The first thing I did was to remove all the meat from the neck. So it's cooked well, so as you can see, the meat is coming off with minimal effort. So just snatch all that meat off the neck and then, yeah, like so. And then you're gonna dice all of this into really, really small pieces. So I started with the other giblet pieces, just chop those finely and then you want them to incorporate well into the gravy, so you don't want any big chunks. Yeah. So just like that with all the other pieces as well. I mean, some people do not like to eat the organ meats of the chickens or the birds. So if you don't like it, don't do it. But if you don't mind it, go ahead and make this gravy with giblets in it. It's really good. I mean, I love it. So same thing with the meat. Chop it up really finely and you will be all set to cook the gravy. Now, the gravy is what adds flavor to the turkey. So I have some yellow onion and some garlic as well. And I feel like because it's what is going to really add flavor to the turkey, you could like go wild with it. Okay, I'm just saying. I know that it's a traditional dish and there's a specific way to make it, but I added something that's probably not conventional. First of all, I added flour at this stage because I wanted my flour to lose that raw taste. I think, again, that's not a conventional way of making gravy. Please forgive me, but I like it this way. I added some dry seasonings and I added a spoon of uh, tomato paste, which I do not think Americans do add. But believe me, it tasted really good. Okay, so go ahead and add some stock mix. See, everything is beginning to look good, even though my method is, not very, might not be acceptable by some. So just go ahead and stir everything in. The gravy is supposed to be thick and, you know, good looking. It's thick here, but let me show you. It's not thick enough. So then I had to add some more thickener. So at this point I used cornstarch because I really did not want that raw taste of flour. See how good it looks now? And this gravy also tasted really good. So I think if you wanna take a risk and try it like I did, please do. So here is our final presentation of the turkey. So now I'm going to actually show you what it looked like on the inside. So I've taken off the clamp and I'm just gonna break this leg off and show you the leg of the turkey. I mean, it's not Thanksgiving yet, so I'm not serving this turkey any formally. So it's okay for me to break it like I want. I'm only making this recipe to demonstrate it on my channel. So this is the gravy. It's really good. Just pour that in there and then start eating the leg of the turkey. Here's the breast. I tried, my best at carving. Again, just spread the gravy there and dig in. So this is what it looked like, you guys. I like to make turkey, even though I learned about this tradition like a few years ago, but I'm totally in love with it. And I hope you guys can give me a rating. I'm always open to improvement, but constructive criticism, please. And that is the end. See you in another video. Thank you and bye bye.